Hello, you're watching VNA's Podcast Daily from Hanoi. Our latest highlights for this hour.
Minister of Industry and Trade, Vu Hui-huang, discusses with several Australian ministers issues regarding the two countries' cooperation in trade and energy. A 100-year-old ceremony commemorating sailors of Hung Sa or Paracel Flotilla is held in Lee Sern Islands District. The 2013 Halong Carnival kicked off with a feast of light and colours in the northern province of Quang Ninh.
President Chung Teng-sang hosted the reception on April 27th for the chairman of the Japan-Vietnam Friendship Parliamentary Alliance, Nikai Toshihiro, and representatives of a number of leading Japanese groups. The president said Japan is always Vietnam's leading important economic partner, adding that since the establishment of their strategic partnership, Vietnam and Japan have collaborated extensively and intensively in various areas such as politics, foreign affairs, trade, investment, and culture. Chang affirmed that Vietnam wishes to further the cooperation with Japan, especially in building market economic institutions and developing human resources and synchronous infrastructure. He thanked Japan for providing official development assistance for Vietnam despite the global economic turmoil, and suggested the two countries create more favorable conditions for Japanese investors in his country. For his part, Nikai Toshihiro spoke highly of Vietnam's all-round development over the past time, particularly in economics and trade. He pledged to do his utmost to further strengthen bilateral ties. Minister of Industry and Trade Vu Hui-huang is making a visit to Australia from April 22nd to 28th. He has discussed with several Australian ministers an array of issues regarding the two countries' cooperation in trade and energy. At Huang's meeting with Australian Minister for Trade and Competitiveness Craig Emerson, the discussions focused on how to make the best use of the ASEAN-Australia-New Zealand Free Trade Agreement, as well as to increase cooperation in food hygiene, quarantine, and the transfer of seafood processing technologies. The Vietnamese side called on Australia to back proposals of the Australian Seafood Importers Association to open a seafood quality control office in Vietnam in order to facilitate the export of Vietnamese products to Australia. Huang also met with Australian Minister of Natural Resources, Energy and Tourism, Gary Gray, during which they discussed cooperation in oil exploration and exploitation, the import-export of coal, the production and import-export of liquefied natural gas, and energy saving. On April 27th, the Central Province of Hà Tĩnh made public a master plan for the province's socio-economic development through 2020 with a vision to 2050. Chairman of the National Assembly, Nguyễn Sinh Hùng, attended the event.
Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee, Va Kim Kut, said that the master plan was based on the prospects of Hà Tĩnh competitive sectors, namely steel manufacturing, agriculture, forestry and fishery industries, trade, transport and logistics, textiles and garments, construction, education and training, information and communication. Accordingly, by 2020, the province aims to have an annual economic growth rate of 18.4%. The industrial sector will account for 54.7% of the province's economy, while services will make up 32.2% and the agricultural sector 13.1%. The number of poor households will fall by 3 to 4% per annum. On the occasion, Hà Tĩnh presented certificates of investment to 6 businesses, including 4 foreign investors from Japan, the Republic of Korea, Hong Kong and Taiwan, China. The investors pledged to pour more than 55 trillion dong, or $2.6 billion into the province. Since 2011, 301 new projects worth more than $16.5 billion have been licensed to operate in Ha Tinh.
A traditional ceremony commemorating sailors of Hoàng Sa Paracel Flotilla took place in An Vĩnh Communal Temple, Lý Sơn Island District, Central Quảng Ngãi Province on April 20th. According to Vietnam's feudal state history, the Hoàng Sa Flotilla was set up when the Nguyệt Locks began their reign in the south of the country. Thousands of sailors overcame roaring waves and storms to survey sea routes, plant milestones, and erect steles affirming national territory in Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa separately archipelagos, and mine marine resources ordered by Nguyệt Locks. Their missions were full of dangers, and many of them never returned to land. To pay tribute to the man in the flotilla, lễ khao lễ thế lính Hoàng Sa has been observed through hundreds of years by families in Lý Sơn Islands and many coastal areas in Quảng Ngãi. On the occasion, the district authorities received certificates recognizing the Feast and Commemoration Festival for Hoàng Sa Soldier as part of the National Intangible Heritage and the An Vĩnh Communal Temple as a National Historical Site. Earlier on the night of April 27th, the Quảng Ngãi provincial authorities also hosted the Feast and Commemoration Festival for Hoàng Sa Soldier and opened the Sea and Island Culture Week in the province. Addressing the event, Minister of Culture, Sports and Tourism Hoàng Tuấn Anh stressed that the festival and relic sites in Lý Sơn Island District are invaluable physical and spiritual heritages of Vietnam, as they are associated with the establishment and activities of Hoàng Sa Flotilla, which patrolled Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa archipelagos throughout the past 4 centuries. Local images as well as achievements made by the Provincial Party Committee and locals were also introduced at the event. The same day, a requiem for Hoàng Sa sailors was also held in An Vĩnh Communal Temple with the participation of descendants of the sailors in Lý Sơn Island. An international seminar took place in the central province of Quảng Ngãi on April 27th and 28th, highlighting the historical and legal aspects of Vietnam's sovereignty over Hoàng Sa Paracel and Trường Sa separately archipelagos. Over 50 domestic and foreign scholars and researchers from various countries, including the US, Russia, Canada, Switzerland, Australia, India, the Republic of Korea, and the Philippines, as well as representatives from several ministries, branches, and localities nationwide, took part in the event. Participants at the 2-day event discussed a wide range of issues, including international law on historical sovereignty, internationally recognized principles on acquisition of territory, and historical and legal evidence of Vietnam's sovereignty over the 2 archipelagos. The discussions also touched upon measures to peacefully settle current sovereignty disputes and conflicts over Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa archipelagos, as well as issues related to the East Sea. Ha Long City in the northern province of Quảng Ninh sparkled with lights and colors during the 2013 Ha Long Carnival that kicked off on the night of April 27th.
The event, the 7th of its kind, is part of activities to celebrate the 50th founding anniversary of Quảng Ninh Province, October the 30th, 1963. It also aims to draw domestic and international visitors to Ha Long Bay, a UNESCO-recognized World Natural Heritage Site and one of the world's new 7 wonders of nature, as well as other cultural heritage sites in the locality. The carnival opened with an artistic performance staged by many famous Quảng Ninh-born artists. A parade of 10 flower carriages featuring Quảng Ning's tourism resources took place with a blend of traditional and modern music in the background. The groups brought to the event their traditional dances and songs, such as Phun Vong and bell dances of the Zhao, shrimp catching dance of the San Jay, and Ten singing of the day.
The carnival has wrapped up our news program today. I'm Ngọc Hà and the rest of the team. We thank you always for being with us and see you next time.